Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Janice Parks, J. Parks consultant, executive coach, empowerment speaker, author. I'm just popping out today out of my J. Parks consultant page, and I wanted to address some things that was on my mind, and I wanted to challenge those of you who possibly follow me occasionally. And if you don't, I'm inviting you to do so. And kind of introducing myself to some of you that don't know my background, in to a certain extent. So I wanted to come out today and talk about, um, why some of you have not utilized your gifts and talents to start your own business. But before I do that, I wanted to give some background knowledge about me a little bit and what my career has been overall, and what my experiences have been, and what my education is to a certain extent. So I started out young, working around 16. I'm 65 years old just in September. But I started out in sales, to be honest, at a very young age, and not too many people know that. But however, it was a very simplistic thing that I started doing when I was about 16. I had a great opportunity um, back when I lived in Ohio uh, to get a job for a family that owned a pretty nice size farmers market. And I think that's why I love farmers markets even today. So at 16, I began to work for them, and it wasn't that far from my house, and it was right on the main thoroughfare. So people would pass by. You couldn't be missed when you worked out on the farmers market because it was on a main street. But I got to learn how to actually greet people, how to do customer service, how to order inventory, believe it or not, how to see and make sure that the fruit and the vegetables were fresh, to make sure that those items that weren't as fresh as they should be, to take them out of the inventory and let someone know that we needed to order more, right? I mean, all kinds of stuff. They had all kinds of fruits and vegetables and greens and tomatoes and cabbages and corn and apples, strawberries, and and when there was holidays that came about, uh, they had all the specialty stuff, like pumpkins and all the stuff you get for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So fast forward, I was about 15, 16, I guess. And let me tell you a little bit about that because, um, like I said, it was on the main street. And all of my friends and people that knew me, when they go by, they would see me out there working, when I was scheduled to work. And, I got a lot of flack, really, to be honest, from my classmates, some of them, because I was working at a farmer's market, and you get dirty, your hands get dirty, you got to get your hands into things. You got to handle the fruit and the vegetables. You got to clean it off. You know what I'm saying? And you meet all kinds of different people. You got to be courteous. You have to be respectful. And then you got to know your craft. I had to know the prices of things, that type of thing. But no matter what, I didn't care what people thought. Okay? Remember that. Keep that tucked away. I didn't care what people thought. The benefits that I reaped from working at that farmer's market were astronomical, especially for me and my family. Because guess what? I used to get all kinds of stuff that I could take home. I took home fruits and vegetables and just all kinds of stuff. At the holidays, oh my God, I got so much stuff that I got to take home, you know? And then I learned so many different wonderful, valuable lessons when I worked at that farmer's market. I learned how to be humble. I learned how to be respectful. I learned how to strategize. Believe it or not, I learned strategy. I learned how to just be a person that could actually manage more than one thing at one time, right? So fast forward a little bit, got into high school, worked a couple different kinds of jobs, graduated from high school, went to work for the local Veterans Administration there, worked as a nursing assistant. I got certified and learned that craft as well. Actually, let me back up a little bit. Before I actually went into being a certified CNA, I worked in what they call the canteen, which was a place. Originally, I started working in the kitchen where we cooked food and served food to the veterans and the people that came through that area, and I learned all kinds of stuff with that. Okay, and then from there, I went into the retail store where I became that person who was in charge of the candy section. So my responsibility was to order candy, to make sure the inventory was full, know how to take things out of the inventory that weren't selling well. And I worked the register. And sometime when the other ladies weren't there, I had to fill in the different other departments. I learned so much stuff, especially about money. Okay. So look, after that, I began to want to, pursue a career in medicine. So I signed up, I applied for a job as a nursing assistant, and I got certified, and I did that for many, many, many years. And finally, I went back to school after 10 years, after being out of high school, got my degree in applied science. I specialized in radiology, but I cross-certified in cardiovascular therapeutics. Now, keep that in mind because that's going to come up. And this is today, this is a pretty long live because I want to really set a foundation for those of you who are out there who have had many layers of experiences, and you've had some really good layers of experience. You've got the credentials, you've got the receipts that would qualify you for all kinds of different layers of entrepreneurship, 501c3 type organizations as your own. So after I graduated from college, I worked as an X-ray technician, okay? And I did that for a while, but I did a specialty where I worked where there was an orthopedic surgeon that came in from out of state that worked for the VA and only on the weekends. So I did that because at that time my son was very young. But then I began to, stretch myself, and I began to be very interested in the heart. So I began to look into going to work in the cardiac cath lab where they did the heart caths, and they took pictures of the anatomy of the heart and that type of thing. And this area, you had to take a test, you had to be certified, you had to go through a lot of different things to become eligible to do that type of job. And I was able to do that, thank God. And that took me so many different places. I can't even explain to you. So many different places, because not only did my background at that farmer's market come into play, but so many different other experiences as well, because I learned how I fell right into being able to order inventory in the cath lab. Okay, on occasion, I was left with the responsibility of being the lead in that department, on certain times of the year when vacations came up, etc. I cross-trained in the EKG department. I mean, so many different things. So, and even to further say, after I worked for the government for 16 years, I left government, went into private practice, and worked for a very prestigious and established heart hospital there in the Ohio area, and worked there for many, many years. And from there, I transferred out. My family and I left Ohio and transferred out into the Carolinas, and I began to work at one of the civilian hospitals in Carolina. And that just one thing just led to another. One thing just led to another. And then in 2009, I started my own business. For a while, I worked in my career in my area, that I was educated in. However, I had all these other experiences, but I also got certified in business management. I also got certified in business ethics, and I won a scholarship to Dartmouth, and I was chosen one of the students to go. And I spent it was an accelerated class for minority business owners, whether you be startup or established. And we got presented, and we came in contact with multimillionaire businesses and people like me that didn't have, their business wasn't, it was a startup, okay? There were lots of people there like that, right? But I learned so much. I became certified with that, met so many different contacts, I'm telling you. And listen, let me just a sidebar right here. Don't limit yourself to just a group of people that you're familiar with. You need to reach out and stretch yourself so that you can come in contact with other individuals. Go to networking, social events. You may not be a person that drinks or whatever, and that's fine. Or maybe you're just somebody that, is a teetotaler, or you drink a glass of wine. Go to some of these things where go, because I'm telling you, you meet so many different kinds of people, and you need to stretch yourself and expose yourself to different kinds of experiences so you can get to know other people, so they can get to know you, so you can, if you're really someone that would really desire to have your own business, or even just to, if you're not even desiring to do that, and you want to change jobs, and you want to go from one job to another, you need to network with people. You need to meet people from corporations, and you need to meet people who have their own businesses that can, help you do that. There's nothing that we do that we can do by ourselves. I'm going to say that again. There's nothing that we aspire to do that we can do by ourselves. I don't care what it is. I may know someone, okay, that may be able to help you. You know someone that may be able to help me. And I would encourage you all, those of you who watch this video, to share this with other people, okay? Be about, sharing things that other people do, even if you can't benefit from it. Don't you dare hold information that you could offer up to somebody that can help them. I don't know it all, and I don't know everybody, but I'm still in need of wanting to get my name out, wanting to get my business attributes out, because there are things that I haven't done yet that I would like to do. And so you can help. You never know. Collaboration is a wonderful word. I may not be able to collaborate with you on one level, but I bet you I can collaborate with you on several others, and vice versa. That's just a nugget I just gave you. That would normally cost you about $600 an hour. Anyway, so just open up yourself sometime. Go out to these networking, and then, even if you are not expecting to start anything soon, expose yourself. Get people's telephone numbers. Sign up for some of these organizations that do these events, so that you can be on a mailing list. Okay, travel. Go to a conference that's out of your state or out of the country. Okay. So anyway, getting back on track. So I did that in 2010 when I got certified. The class I took at Dartmouth was a stretch. When I applied for the scholarship, the committee could not understand someone with my background, how I could actually operate and thrive and survive in a business atmosphere. But this is one thing I know: when you work a job, any job, you learn everything about it. You learned everything you can, but there is nothing that you can't learn on your job that you can't utilize in some other area of your life. So, hey, those of you who are starting out in the workforce, whether you be 16, 18, 21, 25, 36, 46, 56, 66, okay? There's life experiences are very important. Don't you dare despise small beginnings, okay? So I had to write, I would say it was an essay of questions that they gave me in order to qualify for the scholarship, and the scholarship was like worth $15,000 because I went to Boston. My transportation and my living quarters and everything was paid for. They put you up either on campus or they put you up in a hotel very close to the university. So this was no cheap. This was not a cheap trip. Do you understand me? I would not have been able to pay for that myself. I wrote that essay. I answered all the questions, to the best of my ability, and I'm telling you, it was awesome. They wrote back to me and told me I had the scholarship, packed my bags. It was in November. October or November, right before Thanksgiving, I think. I'd never been to Boston, never been to, and I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Flew into Boston, took a Trailways, a specialty bus, coach over to the campus. I'm telling you, it was wonderful. So, as I said before, it was an accelerated class. So therefore, we were there for 6 or 7 days, but I'm telling you, normally that type of class, you would have had to have a semester. So we started like at 6 a.m. in the morning. We didn't get done at 6 p.m. in the evening, and you went nonstop. Okay, you had to be up, ready to go. Your stuff had to be together. You had to be organized. Okay, that's another thing. You cannot expect to create anything in chaos. If your whole routine and schedule is chaotic and you've not planned the night before, 2 or 3 days before, a week before, 6 months before, certain things, you need to plan way ahead. You understand? All right. Now, some of us as mothers and wives, if you've learned anything, you just can't do, we're multitaskable. I understand that. But your day goes a lot better when you have planned stuff out so that you don't have to rush and it doesn't have to be a chaotic, stressful type of situation. Yeah, we deal with it. But however, after a certain time, you should have learned how to curtail and critique and streamline that stress level. I'm going to just sit that there and let it marinate a little bit. You should learn how to critique and streamline your stress level. Okay, so went to the class, and simultaneously I was doing a class from the University of New Mexico at Albuquerque for business ethics, because that was something I knew I could combine with my other certification that would help me be able to reach a lot of other people when I got ready to do coaching, business consulting, that type of thing. Okay, now mind you, I spent 35 years in medicine. I retired from that. Okay, and by the way, sidebar, in between all of this, I did direct sales as well. I did credit card processing and ATM placements, where I traveled up and down the East Coast selling credit card processing and that type of thing. And back then, ATM placements were really big, so I learned a lot with that as well. But anyway, so now what I love, love, love to do, and also, by the way, for my personal enrichment, along with everything else, I've gone back and I've taken several different classes that would enrich my knowledge of other countries, because I also am associated with a missions organization that's been doing missions for over 40 some years in 146 different countries. And I had to go to school and take a class on leadership and learning how to understand what the different cultures are in different parts of the world, especially in Africa. Okay. And also too, I also have a ministerial certification that I acquired from out of Atlanta, and I received that from Dr. Cindy Trim's Kingdom curriculum several years ago. But anyway, that's just a little personal thing that I did. So all these different things together, we have to be a balanced human being, okay? And there's so many different aspects of who we are that people don't know about, okay? And people see you, they see the outside of you. They don't really know the inner workings of who you really are. You're more than what you look like, okay? So just to let you know, and I'm an encourager, I'm a coach, I am a motivator. I believe in letting people know that you have so many attributes that you can use to help other people. That's what it's about. I worked medicine for 35 years. I started at the bottom and worked my way up. So I have a servant's attitude. Very important. Service orientated mindset. Okay. Now, let me just touch on that a little bit. It's not about you. Not all the time. You have to be able to help other people but you help yourself first, right? Because we know that if we can't help ourselves, we can't help other people. But however, you need to be able to have a servant's heart. You need to be able to know how to be humble enough to see a need and fill it. All right. Now, my business name is J Parks Consultant, Coach, Business Solutions, Empowerment Speaker. Now, I have the ability to connect people with business solutions. I still have my hand a little bit in the credit card processing arena, but I specialize in spas, health spas, beauty spas, that type of thing. So I only do a certain type of equipment for that. Excuse me. So I don't do so much of that anymore, but I do have people that refer me sometimes. Excuse me. And I don't do a lot of coaching anymore, to be honest with you. I work out of my house. I always did with this aspect of what I do, and I only take on certain things now. I can kind of pick and choose because I have grandchildren, and I spend time with my grandchildren, and I have spent time with my husband, and then I spend time with me. Because I many years, and see, here's the thing. This is the beautiful thing about getting a little older and having the experiences that I've had. I don't know if I like this phrase, paying your dues, but I paid quite a few, and I really think that I have been a good steward of what God has given me to give, and I was obedient to my calling and my assignment. When there were things to do as far as being a servant in the field that I worked in, I was good at it. That's not a brag. I've got receipts for that. I mean, I've been promoted several times when I work medicine. I've had some awesome people that spoke into my life, that showed me how to do things, told me when my stuff wasn't right. That's very important as well. You have to be able to be pliable. If nobody can tell you anything, how can you learn anything? And then if you have an attitude about certain people telling you things, see, there are people that come into your life just for one reason. That's to get on your nerves. But for the betterment though, for the betterment. Okay. Now, you could say that, and I have been a very point blank period type person in my, over the years. No nonsense, very deliberate, very intentional. And with that being said, and it may have been a time where I was, domineering and dogmatic, but I can bet you some money that those people that I have been involved in their lives can say that's at least one thing that I've spoken to them or was an example to them that helped them be a better person in one way or the other. And that's what it's all about. Because I've had many, many, many people that have helped me and spoken things into my life that I would not be the woman that I am today on any level. Now, with that being said, I've had some ups and I've had some downs. But through it all, it has been an awesome, awesome experience to get where I am now. So, moving right along. So now, and by the way, I wrote a book. It's called The Daughters of Zion Arise. It's a very short read. I have a Facebook page, and also on my Visita link, you can go out and order that book. It's a chronological, inspirational book that I did that I wanted that I had to do a lot of research on these 12 women, and it's from a biblical base. However, I'm in the process of writing some business books as well. I have some other books that I'm some audio creations, and I have a course called the Lioness Principles that I do for business owners, women business owners, to bring out the lioness, those principles that are lined up. And I have a video out on my Facebook page. You can check it out. It gives you a little preview of what the lioness principles are. And if you go out on my Visita page, it will also give you the rundown of what it costs to enroll in that particular course. So anyway, now what I do, I do executive coaching to folks who want to improve who they are from a mental mindset. I'm very big on the mindset because I think it's very important on how you think. And it needs to be healthy thinking. It needs to come from a place of healthy thinking. You need to be a balanced individual. You need to, because we are mind, body, and spirit. And if those things are not gelling together on a healthy level, then we're going to be in balance. It's going to be something that's going to be off in your life. Okay. So listen, I wanted to come out today just to encourage you. I have a little bit of a questionnaire there. If you wouldn't mind, answering the questionnaire, and maybe, I can communicate with you about your answers. A lot of people are afraid to do certain things. A lot of people don't think they have enough money to a lot of things. Hey, Alvina, how are you? Good to see you. I hope you share this with some other folks in your network. Love you. You know, I have a questionnaire that, you know, if you would please answer. Some people are very afraid. They're not comfortable with being around a lot of different people, and I think that once you you know, you get encouraged to step out and just go for it. You know, when I got my certification for coaching, I had to go to Louisville, Kentucky, and I got certified with the PWN organization, and there was about 50 women that was there from all over the country, and we were there for a purpose. We were there to, and we didn't know each other. We were there to take this class and get certified. And because I had aspirations to travel outside of the United States with the missions organization, it had to be an international coaching certification. So we were like grilled. I mean, we, you know, and a lot of us, you know, had some clinical medical background. But however, you know, the certification that I received and those ladies that day, we're not clinicians. It's a big difference. But however, we can coach people in the mind, body, and spirit, and we can help people become more, stretch themselves to understand maybe some of the things that they went through when they were younger or as children, how it's affecting you now when you're trying to reach out and do different things like start your own business, write a book, or maybe change jobs, you know. So these are things that we can help you with. And so today I wanted to come out and just, you know, kind of stretch you a little bit and give you a little bit of background of who I am, a little bit. And also there, like I said, there's a questionnaire out there if you wouldn't mind answering it. And, you know, kind of think about your answers and be honest. I mean, you know, I have found out that if we be honest with ourselves, there's so many things can be answered about why we do things a certain way. Okay, and a lot of us have so much to give to other people, really. And I mean, I don't want anyone to think that I got it all together, because I still struggle with a lot of things. Okay, I'm doing something you know, pretty soon in 2020, and it's called Suffering in Silence, and it's going to address anxieties that people have, especially women. Women who are in leadership roles, women who are mothers, grandmothers, wives, they're in ministry. A lot of people are suffering in silence and they don't want anybody to know. They don't want anybody to know. And they get out in front of maybe hundreds of people, or they talk on the phone to lots of different people, helping other people, but they go home and they shut up in their house and they don't come out because they have this anxiety that's keeping them from stretching themselves. So listen, I've been out here for quite a while, but I hope that I've said something in this video that will encourage you to, number one, believe in yourself, right? Number two, don't believe the lies that you know, you may be listening to in your head. And there is a brighter day coming in so many different ways. So look, this is Janice Parks, J. Parks Consultant, Executive Coach, Empowerment Speaker. I wanted to come out today, give a little bit of background of what I've done in life and what I'm continuing to do to encourage other people. You know, that you can do it too. If I could do it, you can do it too. I used to be somebody that didn't talk. You know, I would get in a corner and just watch people, you know. And so as I have grown in that area, I'm able to go out and talk to people. And by the way, I am open. My schedule is open to come. I travel. I do, when I do get an offer to come speak, I take a look at it. I see what the purpose of it is. I make a determination whether or not I need to be doing that, because I don't travel as much as I, you know, have been this year, because I was concentrating on myself, you know, my health, my mind, that type of thing. We all need to take a break. But in 2020, I would love to come and speak to your women's group, come into your church. I'm going to be promoting my book more. I'm going to relaunch my book, Daughters of Zion Arise. Okay, so pass this information along and get in touch with me so we can collaborate. I would love that. Listen, have an awesome, awesome, awesome week. And I hope that there's been something that I have said in this video that has encouraged you to come out of your shell. You know, look, have a great day. I've loved coming out, talking to you, and I'll be back out again. Talk to you soon.